Good morning. Heather Ramsdell here. We are at Living Hope Church with our podcast, We Have to Go. I'm sitting here with Everett Genser, our lead elder at the church. And good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. Better than I've been in a long time.
Awesome. It is so good to be here. Today we're talking on our podcast about the history of Living Hope. And we wouldn't be here without you. And half of us probably don't even know the journey that you've been on. So maybe start and just share with when your journey with Jesus started.
This is probably going to be strange for a lot of people. I got saved at a Sunday morning Amway worship service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My wife Kathy had been saved for at least several months before me, and she bawled when I walked forward.
Wow.
Because they had a call right up to the altar, and so that was the start of my journey.
Awesome.
Right there. And the thing that called me is the fellow that was making the call talked about which side are you going to be on.
Wow.
And I knew I wanted to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
And so I accepted Jesus then as my Lord and Savior.
Wow. How many years ago approximately?
40.
Wow. Wow. What an amazing history.
Oh, it's been, we started going from there to the Baptist church because we hadn't been going to church. And that's where I got baptized, is at the Baptist church in Brushton, First Christian. And it's been a journey. I've been in churches that it was down to 5 people. My mother-in-law, my wife, me, one other guy, and the pastor.
Wow.
So it's, and we stuck it out because we had a prophet come in and said, I see this area as a golden harvest ready to be harvested. So we continued even with 5 people.
So as we go, sometimes we stall and it slows down for a season or we could get derailed. But I'm hearing in a story, your history is just sticking with him.
Yep.
Even when maybe your church experience wasn't going exactly how you wanted it to go.
Exactly. We trust our elders. We believe in our pastors. We just believe that they hear from God, we hear from God, and the combination is safety.
Yeah, absolutely. So, after that, you said you were in First Christian for a season, but you also, I know along the journey so you've been in several churches, and then you had gone to New Testament church for a season. Yeah, for a long time.
Long time,
Yeah.
actually. And we went from there because there were so many people from the Brushton Wire area going to NTC Messina that we decided that we would start a church, and then we started it in our house.
Okay.
Yeah, it got crowded.
Yeah. So isn't that's like one of my passions is church planning because I feel like Jesus, I guess how God uses local church is so important, like in gathering of believers. And so that sounds like yours and Kathy's heart were that, even to open your home at several different times. And so
every
week.
Yeah. It's just acts in real life.
Exactly. And gathering the believers. So you were in Brushton area in your home, and then your journey continued.
We
outgrew your house.
We outgrew our house. Been in several buildings in the Brushton Wire area, and then we came to a group that ended up being Living Hope Church.
Okay, so I know Living Hope Church started around 2020, and can you kind of tell us, as a group of you were gathering and continuing on your journey, I heard it started in a tent.
It was It wasn't even a tent.
Oh,
It was a canopy,
a
couple
canopy,
of
a
canopies.
couple canopies. It
Yeah,
started with that, and
and we had, we worshiped. We had uh, people speaking. It was, it was. We were in search
right.
of a church eventually.
But it was a great time
Yeah,
too because I've heard also, and it was during COVID, which
yeah,
a lot of were shut down. People couldn't gather, but
yeah.
you guys gathering outside made church even more comfortable for people that maybe weren't comfortable about gathering in buildings. So
Exactly,
even though it
exactly.
doesn't look like our timing, maybe it was God's timing the way the
Yes,
church formed.
no question. I've learned over the years to trust in God's timing, not mine, because
Yeah.
mine is now.
Hmm.
God's might be a little while.
So that was a few years journey before you actually ended up here.
Yep.
You rented a building before coming to Living Hope.
Yeah, we rented a building in Moira.
Okay.
We had a building in almost across the street,
Okay.
and then um, we started meeting with the people from Living Hope,
Okay.
and then we were at a small Catholic church
Mhm.
on Route 37 here in town, and then this happened.
St. John Bosco's, as it's known, 57 Rennie Street.
Yep,
And it's a pretty miraculous story, isn't it?
it is, and I would tell people regularly, if you don't believe in God, you have you are not reading the script, because
And you're not
this
even talking about scriptures. You're talking about the script of your life or the journey that we're on as a
yeah,
church.
yeah. I mean, it's from a small, from a canopy
Hmm.
to a really small church to this
Right.
has been a journey that it just it just keeps getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah. So this church was actually gifted
Yep.
to Living Hope. And so we are mortgage free.
Yeah.
I joined the journey here at the church a couple years into the journey
Yep.
as came on the pastoral team and then becoming the lead pastor with my husband Tony in the last little bit.
Yep.
Um it's been a good journey, but it's been a journey just like any church and I'm really excited to see what God is going to do here. What would you say to somebody coming into our church to describe maybe how I know you know the history of how the church came to be,
Hmm.
but how would you describe the vision maybe you and your wife had sitting in your living room and to be maybe living that now, I would
Yeah.
say?
We believed forever, and we constantly pestered the pastor at NTC.
Mhm.
Local church, not 45 minutes away,
Mhm.
local
Mhm.
church. And um, and this church is different than any other. I mean, like you said, I've been in a lot of churches on my journey, but this church is family.
Mm,
This is different than any other church.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's been. Um, I know I could call anybody in this church
Mhm.
for something, and they
Mhm.
would do it for
Yeah. I think, you strive to have that family atmosphere, but through trials, through we recently had a CO crisis in the
me.
area that
Yeah.
brought in a lot of our new faces that we're still trying to connect with and get to know you. Maybe you're one of those listening to this.
Yes.
Um, but it's so exciting to watch family and we have created a family atmosphere here. A lot of people call it home. And
Hmm.
I think I drive 40 minutes now that I
Yeah.
used to not, but we found home too. But my husband has worked in the area. So sometimes it looks different than what you thought it was going to look along.
Always. It
Always,
always
always
is
looks
never.
different.
It's never what I planned. It's always what God planned. Yeah.
So, what was one thing that kept you and your wife faithful to the local church? Obviously, your relationship with Christ, but
Yes.
what what I know through so many situations, our journeys all have ups and downs, but what kept you to get us to this point where we have living hope and
Yeah.
you and Kathy are part of the story that began even 40 years ago?
We just believe that well, we believe God's in control,
Mhm.
and even through bumps and trials, you just keep moving forward,
Mm.
and that's we have always believed, like I said, in the local church,
Mhm.
and we just kept moving forward to what the
Mhm.
next part of the journey
In scripture, it says, "Don't forsake the gathering together," and
was.
I think that would describe you and Kathy. You never forsake the gathering together, even if it got small in seasons, you
Yep.
knew how important that was. I think in this, as we're doing podcast and, you can watch us online, all those things,
Yep.
could you just say why you think it's so important to actually come to church on a Sunday morning and gather
Well,
with other believers?
oh yes, absolutely. There is, um, you're sitting at home, you're comfortable.
Mm,
Maybe getting to church is not comfortable, but there's such a warmth here once you're here,
mhm,
and you're getting fed, and you're worshiping together with other believers and being encouraged,
mhm,
and it's just being in church is not the same as
mhm.
watching
Yeah.
church. It really isn't. You can't compare the experience. It's apples and oranges.
Right. And then you need other believers, you need
Yes.
people, you need family. And I think family can be kind of a hard word for some people because maybe our natural families, people struggle in or they don't have them. They may be in this area and they're not they're not close to their actual
Yeah.
family. And
Yeah.
so family is so so important.
I've told this body that I have family
Mm,
that I'm not as close to as the people in this church.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
I 100%
You know.
agree. There's something about our bond in Christ and going through trials together.
Yeah.
When what is one highlight along the journey or here at Living Hope that you see right now? Like what I know you said it feels like family, but
Yeah.
maybe one thing you're like
I'm
so
excited.
yeah, excited for.
The new faces.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been here since the founding of the basis of this church, and right now there's probably 30 to 40% of the people I see. I don't know who they are because
Mm.
they just showed up, and
Mhm.
I like, and at my age, I can tell people, "Yeah, I'm having a senior moment. Have I introduced myself before?
Yeah.
Because
I always say don't feel bad because I don't remember everybody either, or we're having new faces. I think, last week we actually had 3 new faces, 3
yeah,
new families come in, and it's just you can't even explain the excitement,
no,
and I think if we miss that excitement about new believers or people really seeking God, then why are we going?
yeah,
Why are you I know you and Kathy have sewed in not just you serving, giving, and, financially and, of your resources and your home and different things that does matter to today. So what would you say to somebody in their 20s or 30s that are just starting their journey with God?
I would say find some place where you're welcome,
Mhm.
where people say hello
Mhm.
soon as as soon as you come in, and they
Mhm.
don't if they don't recognize you, they're going to accept you because you're here.
Mhm.
You don't have to dress special. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wear your Sunday best to be here. Most of us are in shorts during the summer, so
Yeah,
uh
that's a little different than back when we went to church a few
oh my
years ago,
gosh.
huh,
You
Everett?
had to dress up, you had to start sure,
Yes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing your best, but it's like, it's not meeting our culture where it's at, and we need to definitely we can I think that's what I really respect about you and Kathy is that there's a lot that your generation can complain about of our generation, and maybe that we don't, Sunday best or just different ways, but you and Kathy have always championed the people where they're at.
yeah, you come as you are.
Mhm.
There's a song like that, "Come
Yeah.
as you are," and that's all there is. If you're 20 and
Mhm.
you are going through trials, or you just know there's more,
Mhm.
find a church where you feel welcome, and where it feels like family.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
this
we
church is. atypical
Mhm.
in family um, relations. It used to be a Sunday dinner, every the family get
Yeah.
together. Here, the family gets together for church.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that because a lot of people kind of like they're missing that family dinner, the
yeah,
Sunday dinner that families used to have, but I love how you say that, like, "Come, this is Sunday morning family dinner."
yep,
Last one more thing I wanna talk about with you is, Everett, you have always encouraged me ever since the day I met you, and you've believed in me, and you've believed in my husband and I, and the vision here that, I'd say maybe we brought or who we were and what we wanted to see here. But one thing that highlighted to me is throughout the whole years, you didn't stay with a journey because you were an elder through the whole time. You actually, I believe, really this is your first church that you
I felt comfortable enough to be an elder.
Mhm.
I mean, excuse me. I don't preach from the pulpit,
Mhm.
but I'm out with people.
Mhm.
Um, my favorite thing is hugging everybody I come in contact with, men or women, doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter. Just just say,
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes. And you definitely do. I think everybody that knows you in here would say you definitely radiate love, and that's the first and foremost calling that Christ asked us to call. So,
Yeah, that's how we're going to be recognized.
yeah.
We have love one for another.
Awesome. The last thing before we go, like, I know you just retired
Yes,
officially
yes.
and have had a few struggles yourself personally, but what are you looking forward to in your own journey with God, or what do you think your role is now? What God has called you to do? And I know you said hug and love on people, but is there anything in your personal life, in your personal journey that is different or growing that you'd like to share about?
Well, the Bible talks about gray hair and in wisdom.
Mhm.
um, I don't have many gray hairs anymore, but I have gray hair, and I feel like the wisdom I mean, I've been through a lot in my
Mhm.
lifetime, different businesses and different churches and family issues,
Mhm.
and um, it, it, I believe that I can be a voice.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
we were we were a group of people looking for a place,
Mhm.
and now we're here, and now I want to just love on people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing. And I think that's a highlight, like, maybe you can't physically do all you used to do or, um, put up with the tables and chairs. I'm sure you did a lot of that through
yeah,
church and that's for the next generation to
yeah,
do,
yeah,
but just highlight I love that you highlighted that your wisdom, how much value that has, and I know even in our eldership meetings recently, um, just this morning I had a conversation with my husband. He had to leave early last
yeah,
night, and just how you presented the thing that we were dealing with, he's
yeah.
like, "That's genius," and I'm like, "Yep, leave it to Everett. That's genius. That's exactly how we should do it," and so I think we need your generation continuingly to pour into us
Uh-huh.
and really value that. And so I want to say how much we value you here
I
at Living
appreciate
Hope
that.
and will continue to, and how much thank you from those of us who are here that you chose to keep going.
Yeah,
As you go, and that was it. It was just your life. You lived your life for Christ through the good, through the bad, through the ugly,
yeah.
and through, making mistakes, I'm sure, along the way as I have, and so, we just really wanna thank you and honor you today,
Well,
Everett.
thank you. I am honored. I mean, I've had some bouts with illness, and I would keep getting cards from
Mhm,
people here in the church, and that meant a lot to me.
mhm,
And um, it shows that you are appreciated,
mhm,
and missed.
mhm. Well, I can tell you, everybody kept asking, and we're like, "They just need some space to heal right now."
Yeah,
But, like, it was it's like you had to almost I had to almost calm people down to allow you and Kathy to, like, walk through this the way you
yeah,
needed to
yeah.
because but you're so loved, and so I
I
would
appreciate
I would love to
that.
calm people down instead of, cheer them up, so I'm so grateful that you
Well,
said that.
thank you. I am glad you are here.
Yeah.
That's always been my words to you. Have I told you lately? I'm glad you're here.
Yes, and you kept me you say that to me often, and it's so encouraging even though we know when we get a word from God, we need other believers continually pushing us to what God has called us to do. And
Yeah.
so maybe in the near future, we could get you and your wife back on the podcast to share what Kathy has to say. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
you're
we're
welcome.
really excited about where we're headed as Living Hope. But if you don't recognize the history, you can miss a lot. And so we're going to keep continuing to lean into the history of how we got here.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
How was that?